Glenn Parker, High Vibration Foundation. Thank you very much for joining me. So why would an immortal being impose lack or limitation upon themselves in the way of maybe lack of money or health issues or any number of ideas that you have or are experiencing in the present moment in this thing called space and time? Why would you do that? And I've been toying with that idea for a long time. I've had several conversations with different channeled entities, and I posed this question, and more recently I had some interesting answers. Pretty much the same answers spun a different way. So what ends up needing to happen is that you can be aware of this subconsciously, but it needs to take time to come to a conscious awareness of knowing. So my point of view right now is, let's take the idea that you are an immortal being in a timeless reality and you have manifested into human form and chose to forget to play a great game with a whole bunch of your friends. And you wanted to go through the transition of thinking that you could die even though you were immortal and indestructible, and going through bouts of limitations, however those would manifest for you, whether it had been an illness or what seemed like a lack of money or any other number of ideas. Why would you do that to yourself? The idea at this point in time is, if you are an immortal being in a timeless reality, why wouldn't you do that? Because really everything needs to play out. And the last conversation I had, basically I asked how many multiple simultaneous lifetimes I had, Earth incarnations, and it was 700 and something. And I was like, so I basically have been in an impoverished situation. I've been like on a level of a king or a prince or princess or any number of ideas, like a captain of industry, and had no limitations, like the King of Wall Street type of thing, where there's no limitations there, and it's just the sky's the limit, and you just, it's abundance left and right, and all's well in the world. So why would you impose these types of things on yourself if you're experiencing them? If you're watching this video, it is very, 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 very likely that you are an ascended master from another lifetime who chose to come into this lifetime and act as an anchor. And what I mean by that is an anchor into 5D reality, into more of your true and natural self, more non-physical limitations, where space and time, you're not in it as much. You're unstuck from space and time, and things can manifest very freely, very fluently. And when I say an anchor, you are an uplifter, and you're acting as an anchor point for upliftment. Abraham-Hicks said, I don't know how many years ago this was, but somebody was asking, I feel like I'm the only one, and this and that and the other thing. It doesn't seem like there's other people I can talk to. And Abraham-Hicks was like, there's hundreds of thousands in the Earth environment at that moment in time that are aware of law of attraction and of higher vibrations and other ideas. And I think that there are a lot more people on the Earth, because Bashar Communications has like at least 25,000 likes. So there's at least 25,000 people that are willing to consciously push the like button strewn out throughout the planet. That's at least 25,000 people that are aware on some level of this information in a 5D reality. And they're all acting as anchor points for various reasons and for various timings. So why would you impose these limitations? Why would you want to be an anchor point? Because if you are an ascended master in other lifetimes and you have manifested and you are aware of this information, then that means that you have mad skills that you're not aware of, that you've awakened in at least one, probably multiple lifetimes, and you're imposing limitations on yourself in this lifetime to really grind down on this idea of earth plane and really grind down on the idea of what needs to be done as a service to others in this lifetime. So if you decided to be an anchor point, to be an uplifter, and all these people all throughout the planet that are holding this particular frequency of upliftment so that others can, it can be available. You know, Bashar Communications didn't have 25,000 viewers when it first started, or any number of ideas like KYRON or any of these other entities. Didn't have 25,000 viewers 30 years ago when they first started. You know, it was like, ee! And then, you know, more and more, the snowball running downhill, and or snowball rolling downhill, probably not running, at least I hope not. So a little bit, the snowball effect, higher vibration, more people, envelope, giving them a choice. Do you want to stay in the darkness, or are you more interested in the light? Ooh, that sounds interesting. I want to go and check out that type of energy. And now you're at 25,000, 30-something years later. So it's the same idea. You're posing heavy limitations on yourself a lot of times because you're needed to be in a certain circumstance. And I'll take myself as an example. For 25 years and then some, I've had like wicked health issues. And to the degree I needed to get on a plane to go somewhere, I needed oxygen, or else I would desaturate at altitude, the simulated altitude on an airplane. Before I got to the other end, game over. And it's only maybe since 2009, late 2008, that I just started being able to fly again and find combinations of holistic items that remedy the situation. And, you know, there's lots of other things you can pile on top of that. You know, I only have one eye. You know, this is a prosthetic, this one here, and I lost that at 18 months. So, you know, I wanted a lot of limitations and a lot of challenges in this lifetime. And it basically is allowing me to do these videos and to act as an anchor point and give and assimilate tons of information, and then kind of regurgitate it in all these different types of videos and correlate it and help other people connect the dots for the things and the timings that are good for them. And I'm just starting to come to the conscious realization of that, and it's kind of seated in there now where, okay, I'm an immortal being in a timeless reality. Why would I just want to go and have fun? Well, you've had fun in other lifetimes, and you can make this fun. The whole point was to come to see if you can impose limitations in one way, shape, or form, and overcome them and be okay with them. That was the true challenge for this lifetime. Can you hold this frequency and be an uplifter? Can you be like a forerunner in this forefront of this 5D reality? And the conversation I had with the Pleiadian High Council of Seven, they were saying that, well, you're one of the forerunners. You know, you're really getting a lot of this information in early, and you're getting this stuff out there. And, you know, they helped me recognize that more. You know, during our dialogue, I recognized that more. So I just wanted to share that. So if you're having, or if you're suffering from this, or if something is not exactly to your liking, it is serving you in some way. And like Bashar says, you have to figure out how it's serving you. The only way to allow the energy of it to pass and to transition out of it, if it's even possible, is to be okay with it and find out how it is serving you. And there's tons of different permission slips on how to do that. Transformative shifting exercise, threshold limitations is probably one of the better ones. Abraham-Hicks, getting into the vortex. You know, Gary Renard, Beyond the Ego. So it really is any number of things. But the big thing on all those topics is that it is ego negotiation. The ego needs to come with you. It is your friend. It is here to protect you. And this transition between 3D and 5D is freaking it out because it doesn't understand a 5D construct and how you're going to be safe and protected. So you have to do a lot of negotiation with it so that the whole being that you are comes along on this, or else it's going to kick and scream and fight, and you're not going to have a good time of it. So that's also a really big part of the picture, is some ego negotiation, because it usually is the ego that is kicking up his feet and screaming because of perhaps some limitations you put on yourself, or it doesn't understand that you can follow your excitement and you'll be supported in these types of ideas. So I wanted to share that. I thought that was very significant during this transition. A lot of people say, you know, we enjoy your blog because you share the transitional types of items between 3D and 5D reality, and a lot of those things click with me. You know, we're within synchronicity of some of the things that are happening within my lifetime. You know, I think it's because I've done almost 400 videos in like a year and a half on so many different topics, and I do share pretty much anything that's going on. that there's a lot of synchronicity within those because there's a lot of different topics to go around. So I do what feels like it needs to be shared, and I'm pretty open about everything that I share. So I'm glad that was of service to people. Thank you again. Do leave comments, send me messages. I do like to hear those types of things. And if you do like this video, please do like, subscribe, and share. Again, Glenn Parker, High Vibration Foundation, coaching, life, business, and spiritual. Also retreats, boys and girls, don't forget retreats. And thank you very much for watching.